Rebecca Black. Rebecca Black was once one of the most talked about people on the internet after her song Friday exploded into viral success almost overnight, bringing millions of views and turning her into a global name, as people everywhere were watching, sharing, and reacting to her content. But along with that fame came heavy criticism and constant online attention that followed her everywhere, making her one of the most discussed figures at the time for both good and bad reasons. And over time, the intensity of that spotlight began to fade as the internet moved on to new trends and new faces, causing her presence in mainstream media to slowly decrease as she stepped back from the noise, choosing to focus on herself and rebuild her career more quietly, away from the pressure of constant public attention. Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes was once one of Hollywood's brightest young stars, starring in popular television shows and major movies that made her a familiar face to millions as her career continued to grow and her popularity reached new heights, making it seem like she was on a strong path in the entertainment industry. But then her public appearances suddenly became less frequent and new projects stopped coming out, leaving many people wondering what had changed as reports of personal struggles began to surface, which led her to step away from acting entirely, creating a clear shift from constant visibility to a much quieter life as her presence online and in media became minimal compared to the level of fame she once had. Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz was one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood for many years, starring in blockbuster films and appearing regularly in major events as she built a strong and consistent career that kept her in the spotlight for a long time. But instead of a dramatic exit, she quietly stepped away from acting without making a major announcement, choosing to focus on her personal life and family, which made her absence feel unexpected, as fans slowly realized that one of the biggest stars in the industry had simply decided to move on from that lifestyle and live outside the constant attention of the public eye. Psy. Psy became a global internet sensation after releasing Gangnam Style, which quickly spread across the world, breaking records and gaining billions of views as the song dominated social media and made him one of the most recognized figures internationally at the time. But after reaching that peak level of viral success, his global presence slowly began to fade as the attention shifted to new trends and new artists. And although he remained active in his home country, the level of worldwide attention he once had did not stay the same, showing how even the biggest viral moments can be temporary. Mara Wilson. Mara Wilson was widely known for her roles in popular childhood films during the 90s, where she became a familiar and loved face to many audiences, appearing in movies that remained memorable over time. But instead of continuing in Hollywood, she made a personal decision to step away from acting after realizing she no longer enjoyed the industry, choosing to focus on writing and live a more private life, away from constant public attention, which made her story different because her absence was not caused by sudden controversy, but by a deliberate choice to move in a different direction. Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin became one of the most famous child stars in the world at the height of his career, starring in major films that brought him global recognition and kept him constantly in the spotlight at a young age. But over time, he stepped away from Hollywood, choosing to take a break from acting and live a life outside of that intense attention. As his appearances became less frequent and his involvement in major projects slowed down, creating a noticeable shift from the level of fame he once had. And although he later returned in different ways, the spotlight was never quite the same again.